Hello everyone, this is Priyan from Mechatronics. In this presentation, we are going to see about R.N. Chopra and his work towards indigenous drugs. Before getting to know about R.N. Chopra, we should know about Sir Leonard Rogers and his School of Tropical Medicine. Sir Leonard Rogers, who is the president of Indian Science Congress in 1919, took the initiative to establish the School of Tropical Medicine because during his services in India, Rajas has noted the efficacy of many Indian indigenous methods of treatment, like the use of Kaulmogra oil in the cure of leprosy. It was due to his very own interest he opened the school of tropical medicine because he need to explore the many indigenous methods of treatment and indigenous drugs, which was very helpful in the field of medicine. So, under his guidelines, a constitution of the Calcutta School of Tropical Medicine included a class for promoting research work on the Indian indigenous drugs. For this, a post of Professor of Pharmacology and Indigenous Drugs was created. And guess what? In this post, our Colonel Ram Nath Chopra was appointed as a Professor of Pharmacology in 1921, who later became the pioneer of the systematic studies of the Indian indigenous drugs. Ram Nath Chopra's early life. He was born in 1882 in Jammu and Kashmir. He served in Indian Medical Service for 10 years after receiving his MD degree. He joined the School of Tropical Medicine in 1921 as a professor of pharmacology, in which he later became the director of the School of Tropical Medicine at Calcutta. He was also known as the father of pharmacology and patron of pharmacy and architect of Indian drug policy and so on. Now we are going to see his objectives. Um, Initiating the works on indigenous drugs at school, Chopra outlined a main fourfold objective. They are to make an Indian pharmacology self-supporting by enabling her to utilize the locally produced drugs economically under standardized laboratory conditions. And the second one is to discover remedies from the claims of Ayurvedic, Tibi, and other indigenous systems suitable to be employed by the exponents of Western medicine. The third one is to discover the means of affecting economy so that the remedies might fall within the means of greater masses in India, whose economic conditions are very low. And the last one is eventually to prepare an Indian pharmacopoeia. Pharmacopoeia is nothing but an Indian book which contains a list of medicinal drugs with their effects and direction for their use. Works of R.N. Chopra on Indigenous Drugs Enquiry Committee. R.N. Chopra was appointed as the chairman of Drugs Enquiry Committee of Indian government. He also made a report on indigenous drugs. He recommended introduction of an uniform curriculum for the instruction and training of indigenous practitioners and restricting the practice of Indian medicine to a properly trained, qualified and registered practitioners. This committee suggested encouraging the production, cultivation and manufacture of local drugs in a systematic manner, medicinal preparations and finance, etc. Now we are going to see about Chopra's research and books on indigenous drugs. Chopra's research on the indigenous drugs was funded by Indian Council of Medical Research, otherwise known as ICMR. On ICMR's request, he published an a review in 1939 on the work done on indigenous drugs till then by his team, which was later enlarged in 1955, including the review of research done on the subject of indigenous drugs by his fellow investigators. Inspired by this Kolkata group work, investigations have started all over India. Centers has been found in and out of India, such as Kolkata, Bombay, Dhaka, Patna, Allahabad, Lahore, Madras, and Trivandrum. This and his other books included Indigenous Drugs of India, Glossary of Medicinal Plants of India and Poisonous Plants of India, which became the most enduring and popular encyclopedia of Indian medicinal plants. This systematic study of the drugs of Indian origin by Chopra and his associates led to the endorsement of the validity of Indian medical system. Now we are going to see his achievements. And at the Calcutta School of Tropical Medicine, Chopra, along with his students and collaborators, carried out extensive studies on drugs used by indigenous system of medicine. These inquiries, employing the modern methods of chemical, pharmacological, and therapeutical research, showed that certain drugs, example Kurchi, Raulfia, Solaria, and Cobra venom, deserved pharmacopoeial recognition. These and several indigenous drugs become the official entries in the Indian Pharmacopoeial list and Pharmacopoeia of India in 1955. As I said, Pharmacopoeia is an official publication containing a list of medicinal drugs with their effects and the direction for their use. He also written the book on the indigenous drugs based on his research and developments. It was because of his sole effort, research centers were established all over India. The places such as Calcutta, Bombay, Dhaka, Patna, Madras, and Trivandrum, etc. Now we came to the conclusion. In his presidential address at the Indian Science Congress, titled "Rationalization of Medicine in India," Chopra outlined a thoughtful program for his indigenous medicine. He passed away in 1973 at his own house at Srinagar. Since his pioneering effect, the government set up several other committees from time to time. The most of these committees recommended integration and scientific validation of indigenous systems. And that's it.